Hey everyone, welcome to the Relationship Show. We are live. I haven't seen the Sun Show, and again, I haven't seen the whole show, and I want to remind everybody that the first two seasons are available on animalplanet.com and ctv.ca, right? I got that right?
And Crave as well.
Crave. So there's no excuse not to watch the show.
Yeah.
Please do. I'm still working my way through it. Have there been any crimes solved through something you found in a storage shelter?
The crimes haven't been solved. I think we cause the police more problems than solving crime, because anytime we find certain things like the bomb, we have to call the police. And so the sun is moving here on me, but yeah, I think we cause the police more problems than we do solving them. We find dead people in them all the time.
Yeah.
I didn't want to ask. But I assume. I mean, how do you find out how they got in there? Were they living in there and died, and then the shelter the thing was sold?
No, well, they're ashes, right? There? Usually they're ashes. Okay. There's people's ashes are in there. I mean, we get companion animals in there a lot. I mean, yeah, we get ashes. We try to return them. We give them back to the storage facility. Yeah. And there's sometimes where they are mad at their mom and they don't want them. So, and then the burden lands on us.
Yeah, and you're like, well, now we have to call in a priest or something.
Now we have to figure out some place to do with Martha. Yeah.
No. Karen, is someone who's new to being in front of the camera, 3 years now. Yep. How has your comfort level in front of the camera evolved over those 3 years?
I hate my picture being taken. I absolutely hate my picture being taken. And now I'm kind of getting over it. The first season, we were slapping makeup on and trying to look our best. Now we don't care. So we're evolving.
My hair is where it is.
Yeah, so we're evolving. I don't have the same hairdo as when I started. I'm getting used to it, and our crew's really great. As I said, Andrew and the rest of them, Tyson Media is very supportive, so it makes my job a whole lot easier.
Helping. Hey,
I'm just gonna hop out of the sun here.
Can you watch your episodes after?
You know what? I don't mind watching myself, but I don't like listening to myself. My voice doesn't sound like it does in my own head.
I think we all feel that way, right?
Yeah. So, yeah. I've said at least 45 times in this interview, and I haven't heard it once, but when I go through the edit, it's just a constant. I'm like, why do I keep doing that? I know I shouldn't do that. Why do I keep doing that? I find every mistake I made. That's why I can't watch me.
Yeah. I do find it. I do watch it because I like to support Pets and Pickers and Tyson Media. I do watch it, but it's weird. I got to tell you, it's still 4 years later, because we've been on the air for 3 years and it took us a year for a pilot, and we did it at the height of COVID. So, I mean, the fact that this got on the air is just amazing. And, we were picking, 8 feet apart because of COVID for the pilot. Right. So in the beginning episodes, we're wearing masks, so, we really trudged through it for animals. We really, rain, sleet, or hail, masks, pandemics, we did our thing.
I love it. I know I keep saying that, but things that help animals are my passion. I'm glad that you guys, that everything going on, and I'm glad Raps has this going on, that you're involved, and that word's getting out via the show as well. And it's for animals. Like, it all comes down to, like, every animal should have a chance.
Everyone should.
Exactly.
It just did. I heard it that time. So, Jennifer, you've worked with professional actors. You've worked from scripts and with regular people just trying to be themselves on camera. You've worked with animals. You've worked with children. What's the hardest skill set you had to learn in any grouping? I'm not going to ask you who you like working with the most, but what's the hardest skill set you had to adopt?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh, that's a good question, because they always say don't work with children and animals, right?
I wanted to go there, but I figured this was the wrong show to say that on.
It's funny because, like, working in documentary or factual television, like, I've also been on location a lot. And, there's been times when you're on location, there's issues. I think that's probably the hardest part, is dealing with weather or issues or something going on, you know, and you have to kind of make it work. So I don't know if that really answers your question, but
No, I
yeah.
just like I didn't want to ask like who do you like working with the best or least. I just like what was the hardest for you to jump into, and all of a sudden now I'm dealing with unscripted TV versus like highly scripted cartoon versus dealing with kids as the hosts. Like one of those has to like be harder to naturally get into.
Yeah, I would say, you know, it's funny because this series has been very challenging because, and I actually wrote an article on LinkedIn about it because, um, you know, you would think that, you know, be sort of straightforward. You have animals come in, you follow them through the process, but you know, a lot of editors and story editors come on board. I don't want to get too technical, but they come on board and they want to know the formula. They want to, you know, say
Right.
it goes like this, blah, blah, blah. But this series does not have a formula because every story demands its own treatment. So, you know, there's ones that are very emotional and we slow down and we take our time. There's ones that are wacky and crazy and we do, you know, so this has been very challenging for that, you know, and to try to get people to come on board and kind of go, okay, let's, you know, figure out what this is. But yeah, so I'd have to say this series has been like, but at the same time, like you said, it's about animals and it's about, you know, people who love animals and it's about vets who care about animals. So there's so many, you know, it's a beautiful series and people who, and the interesting thing, and I think Karen would say the same thing when she watches the show, is that we have so many owners who don't even think about being on camera, right? They're passionate about what's happening with their
They're
pet.
focused.
Yeah, so they're kind of like, oh, you want to film me? Okay. And they're just being natural. And that's hard to do with a lot of documentaries.
We have a lot of brave pet owners.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
A lot
Yeah,
of brave
and,
pet owners.
yeah, I wonder how I would react to, you know, at times when I've had to put my animal down, or we had a cat that had a liver issue that for 6 months we were force feeding and giving lactated ringers, and I was unemployed even at that time, so every visit was like money I didn't have. But I don't know what you could have talked me into at that point, but like it was gonna anyway. I thought would help my animal. I probably would have agreed, and just been focused on that and not a camera at me. So
Yeah, you shouldn't have to choose between food and your pet.
I knew what I knew what I was
And
choosing.
obviously we've had people, especially this last season, who have said, you know what, focus on my pet. I'm not going to be on camera. And we had one story that was very challenging because, you know, as a viewer, right, you want to know who is the pet owner. And so we followed the pet through and we did this story. And like, I honor that. I'd be the same way. I would probably say, you know what, focus on them, not me. And yeah, so it's you know, it's a bit tough in that sense to tell a story, right, without the owners.
So yeah, everybody has a different line, and you have to walk it if you want to work with them. Speaking of some of the touching things, Karen, I've heard this story and I love it so much. I'm going to ask you to please tell me about the tattoo on your wrist before we get out of here.
Oh yeah, my tattoo. The tattoo on my wrist is for every animal I've lost. I've had cats and dogs my whole life, and I've tattooed them around my wrist, and it just reminds me that I don't want anybody else to have the same tattoo as me. I want you to save your pet
for a reason. Yeah, I love it. My wife has an orange cat tattoo on her wrist for our cat Bruce. I get it, I really do, and I love your story. I saw it. It was I think on a teaser of the show, and I'm like, I want this on my show too. So thank you for sharing it. Thank you for doing that and for trying to keep everybody else from having tattoos on their wrists like that.
You're welcome.
But it's touching. I do. So one of the problems, I've always had a fantasy about having a thrift store and running my own, and I've even looked into it briefly. How hard is it to get rid of something that's like you found something that's amazing, you've always wanted? How hard is it because you have to give it away? How hard is it sometimes to go, oh, we have to sell this?
You know what? I have a big poster. If you look in Pets and Pickers, behind the cache, there's a big poster, and it's our critter board, and it has the animals that we have helped to save. And so it doesn't become hard when you're reminded of why you're there. So, you know, I'm a collector. I collect brooches, but you know what? I'll sell brooches to keep an animal alive.
Mhm.
You are just a good person through and through.
I try
Every
hard.
ounce of you is a good
Although
person.
I did message Karen one time and said, "Oh my
Are
God, I
those
need
shoes
those
still around?
boots," right? I was like, "I need those boots. Oh my God, what size are they?" And
Yeah.
Karen had to go find
Are those shoes still there? Yeah.
Hey, as long as they have a price on them, I'm cool with buying. Like, you know, like as long as I did, like, I couldn't put the price on it myself. If somebody else prices it and it's in my range and I have the money, sure. But like,
You know, I have people from all over the USA emailing me because, you know, I think about this horses. We didn't even really talk about them. We found these porcelain horses inside a storage locker and we just pushed them aside and talked about something else. And some lady from, I think, Texas called me and said, "I want to buy your horses."
Yeah.
We've had people from the US mail us things so that we can sell it for our charity. I mean, the viewers' response to what I do has been remarkable, just remarkable.
Yeah.
another reason
So
you need to make sure this show is on for a long time and has a huge following around the world.
I hope so.
Yeah. Can you call Bell Media and tell them that?
I will.
I hope so.
I absolutely would. I would be involved in any like save the show campaign necessary if it was not. Yeah, this is important stuff. I do
think
have a
so.
question from one of our staff members. I'm not going to say which one. One of the people on here has a question, and they want to know how many Ninja Turtle toys do you get?
Thousands. Thousands.
I'm not going to say
Thousands.
who wrote that, but I think the follow up.
We'll have a lot to talk about after the show.
Well, as I said, come on up.
Josh, I guess we have to do another road trip, Josh. I'm not driving that. We're in Pittsburgh. That's a long drive. We'll fly up and see you. And I got a lot of reasons to be there.
My store is 15 minutes from the international airport.
And do
There
you
you
shipping? No.
So I'll
I
come
won't
pick
be
you
able
up.
to fly home
You
with
might.
everything I buy. Might. Hey, we are running out of time. I want to thank you both for the hour you gave us. I know you're very busy. You're promoting the show, which comes out season 3 in 3 days. Everybody be sure set your timers. We don't have VCRs anymore. Make sure you watch it online or wherever you consume your amazing media. This is an important show. If you haven't heard of it, now you have. You have no excuse but to go and watch it. Watch all of it. And I want to also, if you guys have anything you want to plug, let's get the Raps URL up as well. rapssbc.com. Make sure you visit there if you have any questions that we didn't answer here, want to hear more, want to find where the episodes are, how to donate, how to find Karen's stores, how to find Karen and thank her in person. I'm sure you're there all the time. It's not like a lot of other shows where you're only there during film days.
Nope.
You are a worker. You are a worker.
We never.
I am.
In fact, one of my questions that I took out was, does filming the show get in the way of the thing you really love doing?
No, because they're filming what I really love to do. So it's all okay.
Yeah, I was like, just stop. I want to do this. But yeah, I figured it was going to be a similar answer. Like, no, this is what I love. So
Yeah.
Jennifer, you have anything you want to get out there and promote at the end of the show before we walk away? Anything I forgot?
You know, just like you said, like check into Raps, because I think we've had a lot of, since the series came out, we've had a lot of American viewers check in, but like there's always something going on. They're rescuing cats. They're trying to, like you said, the cat sanctuary has like 500 cats. There's always something going on. And if you can check in and see what's happening and help out, like that's huge. Yeah.
Yeah, and let me thank you as the host of this show. If you do go and support this, it's like I said, I keep saying it's important. Do it. If you love animals, like animals, if you have an animal, the world, I'm running out of words here is what I'm saying. It's important to go and support this and spread the word that this is a model where all people, if we had something like this in every major city, would save a lot more lives and would make a lot more people's lives better. So get out there. Great thing, everybody. We're going to wrap up the show. Don't forget, we have our interview with Natalie Bowl going live tomorrow at 8 a.m. We have Uva Bowl coming up beginning of next month. And we have a very special interview with, thank you, Josh, with Annie Chen about her change in career and how she's dealing with the changes in her life. So thank you, everybody. Please be safe out there. Support your local animal shelters. Support RAPS. Have a wonderful evening. Everybody, good night.
Thank
We
you.
did it.
Thank
Bye.
you, Daniel. Thank you.